G'day, this video profiles the Razor track, which does a big loop from the West Buffalo track all the way around to Hairy Shepherd's track. This is an awesome track. It's seasonally closed, so it's not open in winter, and on HEMA maps it's listed as a medium track. It's a fantastic area to drive into up on the top of the West Buffalo River catchment. And almost immediately we started climbing, and you can see we come to one of those water humps. Didn't carry enough momentum on this extremely steep slope, and bang, couldn't get up it, so we backed back a bit, which is not always a good idea on these sort of slopes. Put the lockers in and just cruised up over it. These slopes are super steep, and you need to be really careful backing any four-wheel drives down slopes such as this. Here's Scott and Beck tackling an extremely steep rutted section in their 80. You could see there that their front end was fairly light coming up that slope, so you need to be super careful. This is a track where you can pick your own adventure. If you come in from the top end via Hairy Shepherd's track, you're basically driving down the ridgeline. We went the opposite direction where we did mostly climbing, but the reward for coming from the bottom is you get to climb up these amazing hills, and then you get to the top of the hills and you see these incredible views. You get these glimpses of the Cobbler ranges to the west and the Razor and Viking formations to the south. You can see the track's reasonably well maintained, but there is a few sections where it's a little bit rutted, but nothing that should pull up too many well set up four-wheel drives. But you do need to be comfortable going up some fairly serious slopes. Here we are coming over one of the crests, and you can just see the landscape behind, and essentially we're looking at the Razor range there. Even though you can't really see on the video, it actually follows a really narrow ridgeline. Major drop-offs on either side of this track. I would say this is one of my favourite tracks that we've done in the Victorian High Country, just because of the variation in the track, but also the views and the forest vegetation. The track has some fairly decent descents, as you can see by the angle of those trees. So there's certainly heaps of decent slopes to get down, but nothing that would trip up most four-wheel drivers. Towards the end of the track, you start to head downhill towards the West Buffalo River. And the track essentially comes down back onto the West Buffalo River itself. So it's only a very small stream at this point. You do weave your way back and forth a few times. There's a few crossings such as this. The track in this section's really easy going. It's almost borderline two-wheel drive track. This is the way you come in to access the Australian Alps walking track, including access to the Razor and Viking areas as well. Amazing piece of forest with lots of tree ferns and damp vegetation. Here's one of the last crossings. This was interesting. You can see here that a big tree's come across the track, and someone's just taken a slice out of it rather than chopping it up and dragging it out of the road, which is an interesting way to go about it, but it's functional. You just have to climb over it carefully. So the rest of the track's just an easy run out to Harry Shepherd's track. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this track profile.